Stannunti divestave Vedi Sangapadakramopaniषदः Gayanti yam samagaha Dhyanavastitadadgatena manasa Pashyanti yam yoginah Yasyantam navidusvara suragana Devaya tasmai Arjuna vacha Jayasi chet karmanaste Mata buddhir janardana Tatkim karmani ghore mam Yojayasi keshavam Vyami shreni vakyena Buddhim mohayasiva me Tadekam vadanishchitya Yena shreyo hamapnuyam Arjuna vacha Jayasi chet karmanaste Mata buddhir janardanam Tatkim karmani ghore mam Niyojayasi keshavam Vyami shreneva vakyena Buddhim mohayasiva me Tadekam vadanishchitya Yena shreyo hamapnuyam Mahadeva. So the second chapter is a complete chapter by itself, where the entire theme of the self-knowledge, absolute wisdom was revealed. The problem, the solution, this understanding of your own self. By chance somebody doesn't get that wisdom, the difficulty is in the mind and that must be prepared. And thereafter, of course, when a person understands and abides in himself, what is the lakshana sthita prajna. So the whole chapter is complete. So, after that really there should be not anything. Because what is there to learn? But again and again Shastra will say that Pauna Punyena Sravanam Kuryat. Again and again may you listen. Why is it so? Because there are so many different types of obstacles on the path. Not many people are prepared for this knowledge. What they call as the Mandamati Prarochanartham. For the sake of taking care of the Mandamati, the dull ones. Because the bright ones, those who are prepared, you listen to it, you get it. But there are more people, those who listen to it, they may get it, but somehow it slips away. More people are in that category. Few people, they listen to it, as they say, Sravana matrena jnanam. You listen, you get, and you stick to it. That is very rare few. Why? It's not that the knowledge is difficult, because knowledge is yourself. It always depends upon the preparation of the mind. So, here very clearly you can see the heart of the scripture is only in revealing the truth, what you call as the jnana marga, the knowledge. Why? Because There is no other way out. Jnanadhyeva kaivalyam will come. Jnanadhyeva kaivalyam. You shall get freedom only by knowledge. Why is it so? Because we have seen siddhasya siddhi, praptasya prapti. Here, the jnana, the subject matter is to gain something which is already gained. I have to know about myself. The teacher is not going to create another identity for myself, but helps me to discover the truth that I am. Praptasya prapti, to gain something which is already gained, the samovat, like the 10th man. So, there is no question of my doing anything there. For the 10th man to know the 10th person, for the 10th man to know the 10th man, there is no other way out. Ignorance creates the distance. Very clearly see, ignorance creates the distance. Therefore, knowledge alone can solve the problem. Just like the example you gave is, where is my key bunch? The key bunch is in the hand, and the person is looking. What do you do? I am the happiness. I am looking for the happiness. Exactly same condition. With the happiness in yourself, you are asking, where is the happiness? With the key bunch in your hand, you are asking, where is the key bunch? Such a desperate state. You have it with you, but you are looking for it. You are the happiness, but you are looking for the happiness. You are looking for happiness. So that creates the distance. Not like the distance, the problem is, just see that problem. The moment you look for it, you deny that you are it. So in your search, there is a denial. The moment you look for it, you think you are very sincere. What a problem, eh? The moment you look for it, you deny that you are the owner of it. More sincere you are, more sincerely you are away from it. Like the person says, how long will it take to understand the truth? Little time. Suppose I am very sincere, very long time. If you are very sincere, it will take a very long time. It's because you are still waiting for this to happen. Very sincerely waiting for this to happen. So when there is no distance between what I want and what I want to be, what I want and who I am, there is no distance between what I want and who I am, there is no other way out. Ignorance creates the distance, jnana, knowledge alone can help. So, naturally Bhagavan says, you must get the knowledge for yourself. Now, then he says, by chance, you do not get this knowledge, even after listening to this, suppose the knowledge doesn't take place, esate vihita sankhye buddhir yoge tu imam srunu. That is how it started. Esate vihita sankhye. In the second chapter we saw that. Esha sankhya abhita. In this, in your jnana yoga, this is how they talk about it. Buddhi yoge tu imam srunu. Because why is it, if it is so easy, if it is myself and I must listen to this truth, where the Shabda create this knowledge. Because the Shabda, the words become the means of knowledge. When the ignorance creates the distance between me and myself, knowledge must take place. For the knowledge to take place, there should be a means of knowledge. And what is the means of knowledge? The 5 means of knowledge at our disposal is now redundant. There are 5 means of knowledge at our disposal. With our eyes, I see. With our ears, we hear. With our skin, we touch. With our nose, we smell. With our tongue, we taste. Now, these 5 means of knowledge are of no use to know about myself, because who I am is not a sound to be heard. Therefore, ears are redundant. Who I am is not a touch to be touched. Therefore, skin is redundant. Who I am is not in a smell to be smelt, nose is redundant. Who I am is not a sight or a form to be seen, or a color to be seen, therefore eyes are redundant. Who I am is not a taste, therefore the tongue is redundant. So the 5 sense organs are out. As we have discussed, that the 5 sense organs cannot see it, makes it a blessing, not a curse. Because if the truth becomes an object of your perception, as old age comes, you shall lose it. Because as your sense organs lose their capacity, they deteriorate, the perception of truth will stop. So that the truth is not an object of perception is such a blessing. Because even when the 5 sense organs are not there, makes no difference. Not only that, if it becomes an object of perception, it will become a memory. Are you getting that? Once it becomes an object of perception, if it can be heard, seen, touched, tasted or smelt, it will become memory. It will become like a thought. And when it is a thought, sometimes I may remember, sometimes I may not remember, because all thoughts will not be always there. All thoughts cannot be always there. So lucky, it is not the object of perception. Lucky, it is not a subject matter of memory. So if it is not the subject of perception, and is not subject of memory, then who are you? All that you objectify, it is not. Sense organs, not. All the memories, it is not. Then what it is? Whatever is left out, yourself. Difficult, easy. So even though that is myself. So, but I don't know that. It's like you are continuously experiencing it. Listen, you are continuously experiencing it, but you don't have the knowledge of it. This is something like a 10th man, continuously experiencing the 10th man, not recognizing the 10th man. You are standing in the ashram and looking for the ashram, holding the key bunch all the time, looking for the key bunch. Continuous experience. That is why another thing that to be very clearly understood is, not only you have to get the knowledge of yourself, but also never wait for an experience. You can't say, I'm waiting for the experience of the self. No, because experience is something you are already experiencing. In its presence, everything is experienced. In fact, experience is something which is already happening, continuously happening. If it is an object of experience, please understand, if it is an object of experience, sometimes it may connect, sometimes it may not connect. Are you getting that? All things are you experiencing all the time? The rain, are you experiencing all the time? Sometimes comes, sometimes goes. Sound, all sounds. Whichever sound is there, you are experiencing it. Listen carefully. Experiencing a sound is temporary, but experiencing is continuous. Please observe, please watch, see it. Experiencing the sound is temporary. A particular sound is temporary, but experiencing is continuous. Meaning, being conscious through your ear is continuous, but a sound comes and goes. Being conscious through your ear is a sound experience. Being conscious at the level of your eyes is seeing, experiencing a sight. So experiencing continues, sights go on changing. Experiencing, being conscious at the level of your nose continues, smells go on changing. Experiencing, being conscious at the level of your tongue is continuous, tastes go on changing. Experiencing, being conscious at the level of your skin is continuous. Sensation of touches are going on changing. So if you take these statements very clearly, experiencing is continuous. Experiencing means being conscious. Take that statement and think over and see it immediately. When you say you are experiencing a sound, what does it mean? You are being conscious at the level of your ears and the sound. When you say you are experiencing a sight, you are being conscious at the level of your eyes and the sight. Simultaneously, you can be conscious of a sight, sound, taste, touch, smell. So it is not experiencing a sound, a touch, a taste. You are being conscious. So here experiencing, anubhava, and being conscious are one and the same. Are you getting that point, please? Experiencing and being conscious are one and the same. So can you escape the experience of yourself? Listen carefully. Can you escape the experience of the self? Cannot. Why? Because experiencing is self. Atma, Anubhava, Swarupa. Are you getting that? That is experiencing, that is why your living, your being is the self. That is why living itself becomes such a great blessing. Just to be alive is a great blessing because being conscious. To be alive. What is the most important ingredient to enjoy life? What is the most important ingredient to enjoy life? To be alive. Not to be young or old, healthy or unhealthy. To be alive. Just to be alive. You are alive, no? Once you are alive, then other conditions you want to organize. But suppose you are dead, what are you going to do? To be alive means what? To be conscious. That is something always existing. Experiencing all the time. That is myself. So, everybody has the experience. What we don't have? The knowledge. Experience we have. Knowledge we don't have. Hey, this is another trouble again. These words are so limited in self-knowledge, you know that. It's like the experience we have. What is the experience you have? That is continuous. You are continuously experiencing, being conscious. If it's experience you have been, experience you had, the experience of a sound you heard, a touch you had, taste you had, smell you had. That is why sensations becomes memories. Consciousness cannot become a memory. Cannot become a memory because it is always there with yourself. Understand? Beautiful rain now. Beautiful rain. After a long time the rain is coming. After a long time the rain is coming. Now people should know that Tiruvannamalai it rains also. It not only rains fire, it rains water once in a while. Right? So this will become a memory. Anything that you are conscious of becomes a memory. But consciousness itself cannot be a memory. Are you getting? Anything that you are conscious of shall become a memory. But the consciousness itself cannot become a memory. Because it is always there with yourself continuously. That is your nature. So since it is my nature, why am I then looking for it? Because I don't know. Because you may be experiencing something continuously, but you don't know. Like key in your hand. You are experiencing, but don't know. Standing in the ashram, you are experiencing, don't know. Standing in front of a person, you are experiencing him, do not know. You are holding the letter in your hand and looking for it, experiencing it, but you do not know. How many such incidents in life? Continuous. You can be standing in front of a river but not knowing this is Ganges. You may stand in front of a great musician, not knowing that is the musician you are looking for. Always happens throughout life. So experiencing something which is always there. So another huge misconception to be removed is that I have the knowledge and I don't have the experience. That is where you have to be very, very specific, not vague in your definition of knowledge. Knowledge does not mean information. What people say that they have the knowledge and no experience means information they have. Like you have the information of Himalayas, but you don't have the knowledge of Himalayas. You have informations on it. Why? You have read something about it. Okay. To convert the information about Himalaya to knowledge, what should you do? You have to go to Himalayas. To convert the information on Himalayas to knowledge, you have to travel to Himalayas. If you want to convert the information on a river, Amazon, go there. Convert the information to knowledge about a touch, or a taste, or a smell. Get that object. If you are going to convert the information about yourself to knowledge, where should you go? Where? You cannot move in space. Are you getting that? If you want to convert the information about yourself to knowledge, where should you travel in space? In time, when shall you wait? You can't travel anywhere, either in time or in place. Why? Is always there. So here, understand. You can't say, if I have to get the convert the information to knowledge, then you have to be here. You cannot travel anywhere. And this is, understand, and this is also, when you say this is knowledge, you cannot get the knowledge of it because there is a difference between jnana and jnana swarupa. The knowledge and you are the knowledge, the consciousness itself. Like, what the average person considers as knowledge is, please see it. If you don't understand also, raise your hand and I'll explain again. What the average person considers knowledge is the presence of a thought. Objective knowledge means there should be a presence of a thought. Do you know my father? No. Why? The thought of my father is not in your head. The picture doesn't come. Do I know your childhood? No. Why? The thought doesn't come. So usually, if there is a thought is present, we say knowledge is there. Are you getting that? If there is a thought present, we say knowledge is there. So, average person cannot believe he knows himself. Why? He is waiting for a thought. That is why people wait for an experience. Just like I have seen something, heard something, touched something, so the person wants to experience the consciousness. That becomes the huge trap. You have experienced something in time, no? So you want to experience yourself. Forgetting, you cannot experiencing yourself because experience itself is the self. Anubhava Swarupa, that is yourself. You can't have a thought about yourself. Understand? That is why teaching. Neti neti nyayena, not this, not this, not this. Who are you? Not this body, not the perception, not your sensor, not your body, not your sense organs, not your thoughts, not even I thought. Then the Shastra will say, Tattvamasi, you are that. Reveals it. When they say, Tvam dasamosi, you are the 10th man, you are not producing the 10th man, revealing the 10th man. When you say the key bunch is in your hand, you are not producing the key bunch, revealing it. When you say you are the truth, you are not producing it, you are only revealing it. That is why it is immortal absolute. Suppose you are producing the truth, if it is produced in time, will be subject to lost in time. If the knowledge is produced in time, it will be lost in time. It is not produced, it is revealed. Therefore, it is not produced to be lost. Ever existing, I see it for myself. Jnanam. So how many ways are there for the 10th man to know himself? How many ways are there for the owner of the key bunch to know the key bunch? Know that he is the owner of the key bunch. How many ways are there to know you are the happiness, you are the absolute, you are infinity? Jnana, knowledge. And this knowledge also is not a way. It's not a path. Because you talk about other things, you call it a path. It's not a path. That is why there are two ways they say, very nicely. Pipilika marga, Bihangama marga. In scripture they talk about. There are two types of path. Pipilika marga, the path of the ant. And Bihangama marga, the path of the bird. The ants will go on crawling, little distance, and then the ant will reach the goal. As though. Birds fly, leave behind no footprint. Can you see the footprints of the bird in space? They fly, leaving behind no footprint. Knowledge, jnana marga, is like that. You reach without leaving behind any footprint. There is no travel. Always with yourself. Suppose I am not prepared, then pipilika. Like an ant. First prepare yourself. What is preparation yourself? Long before I knew about myself, I was looking for happiness in the objective world. Therefore, so many thoughts I have picked up, so many sensations I have picked up, associated my happiness with so many sensations. And in the process, what have you done? Abba. You saw the ruins of the mind. Vishayan dhayato pumsa, sangaste supajayate, sangat kama, kamat krodha. How many ruins you have? You have thought, knowledge, then you have the desire, then you have got, if you fulfill greed, if you not fulfill anger, still more you built up, you become frustrated, dejected, you forget your memories, and you know all these things, then ultimately lose yourself. But please appreciate, watch out. Even in the anger and hatred and jealousy, there is a silver lining. You know what was the silver lining for people? The more disappointed you are, the more unhappy you are, and ultimately when you succeed, whoa, your happiness is, your release is tremendous. Are you getting that point, please? Listen, first time you appear your central services, first time you appear for engineering entrance, did not succeed. Second year, did not succeed. The more you don't succeed, the more frustrated you are. Because of the frustration, somebody can give up. Other fellow says, nothing doing. Fourth, fifth attempt, 10th attempt, again. So suppose after frustration, after 6th attempt, you got it. How happy will you be? Tremendous release. Your happiness is proportional to your built-up. Happiness or your relief? Your relief is proportional to your built-up. Understand? Hunger. If you think of the hunger, anything for that matter, you name it, physical experience, it can be a sound, taste, touch, your hunger, your sex, your any experience, build up, but don't finish it. I'll give a story. As a, children, that's a very funny man. There was a, it's a little, dumb story, but I'll try to make it up. In a sense, okay, this fellow, there was a king. And this man was he's a top court jester, very sharp, very intelligent. Then it so happened one day the king was blessed with a child. So he came and announced the kingdom in the court. Today I am blessed with a son. Everybody knows about it. How do you feel? So everybody says, I'm happy. Everybody says, sir, when you listen to this music, or when you listen to this, or when you eat this, or when you meet something, if you see in front of, if you see God standing in front of you, that type of happiness I'm feeling. Everybody was talking. This court jester was asked, how do you feel? He said, Maharaj, when the stomach is really churning, you feel like going to the toilet. That way, like example, some people may or may not, don't worry about it, just take it as a lovely fun and story. When the stomach is really, really churning, and you want to go to that bathroom, as you feel when you really go to the, attend the nature's call, that is how I feel. Now you are laughing. The king felt offended. The prince is born, and your pleasure is of like the relief that you get when you are going, your stomach is churning. Get out of my sight. And he was pushed out. What can he do? But then king can't live without him. So after a few days he comes back. King forgets, but this fellow never forgets. So one day both have gone for a boating. Both have gone for a boating on a river. As they are going on a boating, now the king felt like going to attend nature's call. Now he said, what shall I do? Gopal, take it. That is the name of the court jester, Gopal. He said, hey, Gopal, you take it to the side of the river. He said, no, Maharaj, I am responsible for your life. That place full of crocodile. Oh, then don't go there. Don't go there. Go there. Then after 5 minutes, again king is now little restless. Then he said, go there. He said, no, there are snakes. Snakes, horrible thing. This is not the place. He said, okay, let's go. Then after some time, now the king has started already twisting the legs. Then now he said, go there. No. Lions and tigers. Can I be responsible for that? Now the king, he doesn't know. He's now really, entwined up. Then the Gopal knew king cannot hold it anymore. Then he said, okay, Maharaj. Now he said, Gopal, now take it there. He said, there are really wild animals. He said, doesn't matter. Wild animals, no. Man said, come on now, take it. No, come on. Now he took it there. Now the king jumps. Of course, after 10 minutes he comes back. Happy man. And he tells Gopal, see how, oh, what a relief. He said, Maharaj, this is what I felt when you said, the prince is born. Listen, friends, I'm not just like physical relief, you build it up. Same thing mentally. More frustrated you are, you may be living with a frustration. Somebody doesn't respond to your love and affection. After 7 years, he or she says, yes. Paradise. You want to reach a goal, mountain. 10 times you have tried. Frustration. Got it. That is why some people do that. Same thing physically. The hunger you built up, you cannot satisfy. After 2 days, 3 days, when you get that morsel of food, that gives you greater pleasure than the best gourmet dishes of life. You are almost dying. Physically. Understand the relationship. Same way also, in a physical, sexual relationship, what people do? Hold. As like, deliberately I'm talking to you these things because average person is destroyed by it. Because you may say, when you say, oh, there is no pleasure in sound and sight, because nobody talks about the physical, sexual side of it. Therefore, everyone say, see, he may talks about sound and sight, Swami. He doesn't know anything about all these things. No. Please appreciate. It's another experience. Just like you can delay a sound. Either it get delayed or you delay it. Greater the workup, greater is the relief. Even the frustration, the anger has a side of it. Jealousy has a side of it. Why? Because you are frustrated. After you are very jealous. So you are always miserable. That man has a car, I don't have a car. That man has a house, I don't have a house. Then you work. Your life is full of struggle. But after 5 years, 10 years, suppose you got a bonanza, call it a jackpot. You hit something, big business breakup, business break, and you got that. How do you feel? All these people, what car? I have a fleet of it. How is the satisfaction? Huge. Where do you reach? Yourself. So your mind is now full of these ruins. Long before you know you are the happiness, already so many things are there. Now when somebody says you are the happiness, these impressions prevents you from getting it. That is why sometimes the person may feel even uncomfortable. What is this? I am the happiness. Had I got other things, I don't think I would have come here. That type of thought can come. Please appreciate. So, this is something already there. The knowledge, because it is myself already, there is no question of looking for an experience. The knowledge helps. Just like a word helps in revealing the truth. It's like anything, simple. As you look at the garden, you have experienced everything. In these, so many trees are there, when you are looking at it, can you escape experiencing this truth, these trees? Please appreciate. Can you escape experiencing these trees? Definitely not. But if I ask, have you seen Kadamba? Kadamba. What is that? This is a tree. I don't think so. Why? When you say Kadamba, not a particular tree comes to your head. Are you getting that point? Not a particular tree comes to your head. Listen carefully. You have experienced, oh, this is beautiful idea, Ishvara. Hold it. Yes. You have experienced it. When I said, do you see Kadamba? No. Why? You have experienced, but when I say Kadamba, no word, no tree comes to your head. Even though you have experienced, you still think you don't know it. Same way, you have experienced, whenever in a moment of happiness, anytime you are happy, anytime you are, what happy? Any moment of perception, any moment of experience, any moment of thought, anytime you are conscious, you are being with yourself. Suppose I say, do you know Brahman? Do you know the self? No. Why? The word self and Brahman are not associated with yourself. Because a name is given, you are ignorant. Are you getting that point what I am talking? Because you are experiencing the tree. But when I say, have you seen Kadamba? You say no. Why? That name is not associated with the object. Because the name is not there, you are not familiar with the name, have you not experienced it? So the moment you name it happiness, Brahman, reality, consciousness, truth. So what do you say? I have never experienced the truth. What is your definition of truth? What is that word stands for? Are you getting that point, please? The moment you name it, you are looking for something. It's a beautiful point. You are in a party, 100 people are there. Then somebody tells you, did you see Mr. X, Nobel laureate? No. There are 100 people there. Everyone you have seen them in that big lit up hall. But you say no. Why? Because you have not associated that name with a form. But have you not, therefore, can you say you have not seen that form? You have seen that person, but you have not associated that person with a name. Can you escape being conscious in any experience? Whether it is a sound or a touch or a taste or a smell or a sight, or even no thought, no sense experience, no perception, even in every thought, you are conscious. Can you escape being conscious in any experience? You cannot. But that is not given a name. So when somebody has given a name, He has named it Brahman, Atman, consciousness, God. Have you seen it? Because you think it is something else. Do you understand that? How beautiful it is. Nobody can take away your experience because experiencing is your being. There are not two different things. Being conscious, that is why knowledge. So Krishna clearly says, know it. You cannot? All right, act on. You want to know yourself? If you want to be yourself, know it. No action will help. Chittasya suddhaye karma. Natu vastu palabdhaye. The karma, no action means what? No experiencing, no seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, walking, jumping, swimming, dancing, collecting, flying, crawling. Any action that you try to do to be yourself will deny you that you are it. The 10th man, to be the 10th man, what should he do? The owner of the key bunch, trying to be owner of the key bunch, what should he do? What should he do to be the owner of the key bunch? Please tell. The key bunch, the owner of the key bunch, holding the hand in the key, if he is looking for the key, what should he do? Cannot. See the fork. If you do, you are not going to get it. Because in your doing, you deny that you are the owner. If you don't do, you don't get it either. Other than headache. You understand? That is a huge joke perpetrated on man. Sad joke. If I look for it, I deny I am the owner of it. If I don't look for it, shall I get it? At least if I do something, I feel I am doing something about it. That is how people ask, what is your practice? What are you doing? Why? Because if you don't do anything, if you do, you deny that you are the owner. If you don't do, will you get it? At least while doing something, you have got a feeling you are doing something looking for it. So you are engaged. But if you don't do anything, people become restless. Achha, listen carefully. When you say, why the problem comes? When you say, don't do anything, the person includes what? Not only not doing anything for my knowledge, but also you don't have to do anything. Then what happens? Inactivity becomes your inactivity, you equate that with inactivity, and your living itself becomes a problem also. When you say you cannot do anything, what does it mean? You cannot do anything to know yourself. Nobody says you should not do anything, you cannot do anything to keep yourself alive. Don't mix up the issue. You cannot do anything to know about yourself. The 10th man cannot do anything to know about himself. But the 10th man must do everything to keep himself alive. In search of the happiness, you cannot do anything. But to keep yourself alive, you must do everything. Not only, listen carefully, how much I can repeat. Not only you should be doing something to keep yourself alive, but also you should do something with the right attitude to counteract the thoughts that you have already picked up. So the action becomes a beautiful thing. First it keeps you alive. Next, with the right attitude, it counteracts your obsession. Previously, you are doing something to become happy. So that thought has become your obsession. Now even you acting, you express your thought, but you accept the result as it is. Therefore, no more the thought becomes an obsession. Thereafter begins your action for action's sake. Your attitude changes. Thus you can see. Are you getting that point, please? Very clearly see that. So, for your when Bhagavan says, Jnanadhyeva kaivalyam, by knowledge alone, that means for your happiness, for your being yourself, you cannot do anything. So there is no mix-up. But Arjuna understands, to be happy, I don't have to do anything. Then why are you asking me to fight the battle? If fighting the battle is different, being happy is different. Are you getting that simple statement? If to be happy, I don't have to do anything. Why are you putting me on a job? For you to keep yourself alive. Why are you asking me to drive a car? Why are you asking me to pick up a family? Why are you asking me to go for a swimming? That is because you are crazy about swimming. Go for swimming for swimming's sake. But for happiness, you can't swim. Happiness is yourself. Are you getting that point? Very, very clear. If you say, I am happiness with myself, then why are you asking me to get married? What am I asking you to get married? Because you are crazy about it, get married. But for happiness, you don't have to get married. You be happy. Why should I marry? If you don't want, don't marry. That is why that wise person becomes a perfect yes man. Shall I do this? Yes, go ahead doing it. But there is nothing? Yes, there is nothing. But you are asking me to do it because you are asking me to tell it. Shall I go and bury myself underground? If you feel like, do it. What shall I get out of it? Nothing. Then why shall I do it? Well, you feel like doing it. Do. But that is useless. Yeah, that's useless. It's an amazing person. Are you understanding that logic? But the person who is not prepared for it, he extends it in a wrong way. For your happiness, you cannot do anything. For the owner of the key bunch to become the owner of the bunch cannot do anything. But to reach from the office to his residence, he must do something. Relative goals has to be reached. To cook your food, you must do something. To produce your food, you must do something. To climb a mountain, you must do something. But to be happy, you cannot do anything. Therefore, if you associate climbing the mountain with happiness, disappointment. Eating the food for happiness, disappointment. Associating the marriage with happiness, disappointment. Having children with happiness, disappointment. That is why everybody gets disappointed. Be happy. Then what shall I do? You choose. You choose. Be happy. But then you choose. Just think of it. You be happy, but then you choose what to do or not to do. But for happiness, you can't do anything. To keep yourself alive, you must do something. So what is that you can do best? You decide. That is why all people, different people can do different things. Therefore, everybody must be himself. Take this beauty, like the plane is taking off, an orchestra. Take any example, a cooking. We are all organizing, all 20 of us organizing a feast. They said, hey, let us have a feast. Our purpose should not be, when we organize a feast, we shall be happy. No, we are all happy. Happy people organizing a feast. Okay, in that feast, what can I do? Hey, I can collect money and keep accounts. Great. Other fellow says, I can go and pick up the vegetables because I know how to choose the best vegetable. Other fellow says, I can go and get the gas. Other fellow says, I can go and dig the tent and everything, keep the place clean. Another person says, of course, I can cut all the vegetables. Other person says, I can cook the whole thing. Other person says, after cooking, I can clean up the utensil. You know what a marvelous feast it becomes? Who is superior? Who is inferior? You fit in wherever you fit in. I'm happy to fit in. You understand the principle. Happy to fit in. Where? Whichever thing I can do. Is there any more important action and less important action? You understand how the role play becomes absolutely effortless and beautiful? So you don't have a sense of superiority and inferiority. Like the leg is, now the brain is thinking, but the leg is moving, the whole body is doing it. Now the hands are talking, hands are moving, mouth is talking, eyes are looking, ears are listening, the body is sitting down. That whole program is taking place. But suppose, as it is taking place, suppose suddenly hand says, when I say, yes, not hand, oh. You can't even show in my hand anymore, because hand is paralyzed. I'm talking suddenly, paralyzed. Or I'm talking, now the eyes suddenly don't open. You lose certain part. But suppose everything is doing its own part, oof. So which role you should play? Every role becomes fantastic. For your happiness you cannot do anything. But for your sustenance you have to do everything. But people misunderstand. That when you say, for your happiness you cannot do anything, they think that is extends up to living their life also. If I don't do anything, then how do I go to other countries? How do I read a book? Hey, who tells you not to do that? You want to travel somewhere? Do something. You want to read a book? Do something. You want to have a property? Do something. You want to develop a farm? Do something. But for happiness, nothing. Don't mix up. Arjuna got mixed up. That is the question. Lord, you say, Karmanaha buddhi jayasi chet he janardana te mata abhimata. This is your opinion. If you tell and if you say, and it seems to be convincing, buddhi karmanaha jayasi. Jnana, knowledge, is superior to action. Meaning, in this self-knowledge, in being with yourself, knowledge is more important than action. In fact, knowledge is the only thing. To be yourself, you must know yourself. For the 10th man to be 10th man, ignorance creates the distance, knowledge must take place. And for the knowledge to take place, you need a means of knowledge. In the means of knowledge, for the knowledge to take place, three things are required. Object of knowledge must be there, mind must be ready, means of knowledge. Here the object is the subject of knowledge. 10th man is 10th man. Happiness is happiness. That is myself. Subject is always there. Mind must be ready. And what is the means of knowledge? Available 5 means of knowledge, redundant. Shabda pramana. Words become the means of knowledge. The teacher, Apta Bhakya, one who sees the 10th man, he says, you are the 10th man, Tvam Dasamosi. These words become means of knowledge. Like eyes reveal a form, do not produce a form. Ears reveal a sound, report a sound, do not produce a sound. Tongue reports a taste, doesn't produce a taste. Nose reports a smell, doesn't produce a smell. Skin produces a sensation, doesn't produce a sensation, report the sensation. In the same way, you are the 10th man. These words, a means of knowledge, do not produce the 10th man, only reveals. Tvam tattvamasi, you are the Brahman, the Absolute. This does not reveal the immortality, this doesn't produce the immortality that I am, reveal the immortality. That is why jnanam. Right. Finished. Yeah. Always with myself, now I recognize, oh, finished. After that, what should I do? You decide. So to be yourself, you cannot do anything. Remember the statement. Again and again it will be repeated again. Why? Because this little idea doesn't get into the thick skull of the people. Reason? action oriented, practice oriented, doing orientation. So deep, so deep. If you tell the person you cannot do anything, the person will feel restless. Huh? It's like taking away the wind out of his sail. You don't have to do anything to be happy. Huh? What about my going to business? Hey, go to business for business sake, not for happiness sake. When you say, are you getting that point? When you say for your happiness you cannot do anything, don't mix up the issue. Like Arjuna mixing up the issue. Why Arjuna is mixing up the issue? Because he stands for the entire humanity. Deliberately he is mixing up the issue. Or else you will not get the second chapter, third chapter. If I am happy with myself, then why should I work? To keep yourself alive, work. Why shall I listen to music? Just for music's sake. Why should I do anything? Okay, don't do anything and die. No, I don't want to die. Then do something. But you can't do anything to be immortal. Of course you can't do anything to be immortal. Because immortality you are already. But to maintain your mortality, do something. Are you getting that point? So Arjuna says, oh Lord, what you say logically also convincing. Knowledge is important. But you don't compare jnana, understand, you don't compare knowledge with the action. Knowledge is knowledge, another language. Action is another language. Don't compare to. Are you getting that? Don't compare the jnana and the karma. Which one is better? Che, don't do that. Karma, action where it is needed. Jnanam where it is needed. Jnana vastu tantratvat. Understand? When jnana is vastu tantra, there is no choice. When karma is purusha tantra, there is a choice. Action is dependent on the individual. That is a Sanskrit, a very nice statement. Karma purusha tantra. Action is dependent upon the individual. See, here is a flower. Here is a flower. Suppose you say, pick up the flower. It's an action or knowledge? If you say pick up the flower, it is action or knowledge? It's an action. So if you say pick up, now I have three choices. I can pick up, I need not pick up, or I can throw it somewhere. Picking up and throw it somewhere. Three things. I can do kartum sakyam, I can do akartum sakyam, I need not do, or I can do whatever I want to do. I can do, I need not, I can pick up, I need not pick up, or I just get up and go away. Because action is my control. Whereas, suppose you tell me, you must know the hibiscus, you must see the hibiscus. Can you therefore say, in this knowledge, is there any choice? Can you say, I can see it as hibiscus, I did not see it as hibiscus, and I can see it as a dog. Can you say that? In knowledge, you have no choice. Because knowledge is not dependent on you. Knowledge is dependent on the object. Knowledge, object must be seen as it is. Action is dependent on you. Therefore, you may do, may not do as you like. You know, this thinking, where on earth is existing? Literally, pun intended. Where on earth? Nowhere you get it. For action, dependent on man. You can do, you need not do. Or you can do as you like. Whereas knowledge, you cannot say, I can know myself, I need not know myself, or I can know myself as a monkey. And that's what you have done. In your ignorance, there is no choice. Listen carefully. In your ignorance, there is no choice. Nor there is a choice in your picking up identities. Because when you don't know about yourself, you are literally gravitating towards the roles and identifying with every role in life. That is why you are in trouble. But in being yourself, there is no choice. To know yourself as you are, there is no choice. You can't say, I can know myself, I need not know myself, or I can know myself as mortal. You have to know yourself as you are. That is why the vague statements around the world, somebody written a note, The vague statement around the world. Everybody say, you must see things as it is. What nonsense. To see things as it is, you must know yourself as you are. As I told you during the class while discussing love, if you love people for who they are and not for what they have, that begins with you. You must love yourself for who you are and not for what you have. If you give yourself importance for what you have, you cannot escape looking at people through what they have. But when you look at yourself through who you are, you look at other people through who they are. So in being yourself, there is no choice. In this knowledge, there is no choice. Jnana, there is no choice. Either you know or you don't know. But in karma, there is choice. And all the karma is needed. You need to do every action to keep yourself alive in this world. That is why action is not for happiness' sake. Action for the sake of keeping myself alive. And what is that action? Anything. Seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, running, jumping, dramatizing, building a house. Hey, how many human activities? All human activities are needed. You do not dismiss any human activity. Everything has a place. Why? To keep ourselves alive and well. What a glorious combination. Eh? But for your happiness, you can't do anything. You have to know yourself that you are the happiness. Therefore, but when Bhagavan says that, now Arjuna doesn't understand. Like many people don't understand. Okay, for your happiness you cannot do anything. So what happens? The fellow simply sit down. When you simply sit down, what happens? Neither you, as I told you, if you look for yourself, you deny that you are the happiness. If you don't look for it, you don't get it either. But swallowing this logic that for happiness I cannot do anything, when you don't do anything, of course you don't get yourself, even living becomes useless. That is why you can see laziness in the religious institutions. There is nothing to do. I am happy with myself. That is a theory. So, what are you going to do? What is there to do? Ye duniya to, maya hai. The whole creation world is illusion. But food time, everything is real. Everything is real. Luxury hunting, everything is real. You perversion. Anyway, so he says, hey Bhagavan, Lord, if you say that, true, karmanaha buddhi jayasi. The knowledge is more important. For what? For sake of happiness. Listen carefully. Ajivin, karma will not help you to be happy. The knowledge will not help you to be rich. Your being happy with yourself will not make you automatically rich. Just because you are happy with yourself, can you reach Himalaya just like that? To reach Himalayas, karma, do, work, run, fly, do something. If all activities will not make you happy with yourself, just because you are happy, that does not mean you shall be reaching relative goals. For reaching relative goals, you better move, do something, but don't mix up the issue. You're happy man, why are you so active? Oh, what else to do? To keep myself busy, produce something, help myself, help everybody. Whew. All these actions will not make me happy. I know it. I am happy with myself, but I am acting. Why? What else to do? Fantastic person. You are a wonder of the universe. Continuously. Just think for it. So he says, Tat kim ghore karmani niyojayasi. Hey Keshava, then why are you pushing me into this ghora karma? I don't want to fight. You say, hey being happy with yourself is one issue, fighting the battle is another issue. But ghore karmani, and this terrible action, you are engaging me for what? I don't want to do anything. That's what I don't want to do. Vyamisrineva vakyena buddhi mohayasi me buddhi mohayasi. I cannot say that you are confusing me, because definitely your purpose is, oh Krishna, not to confuse my intellect, not to confuse me, but mohayasi iva, as though you are confusing me. Why? Vyamisrineva vakyena. What is that? Action is, no action will help you in getting yourself. Therefore, act. What? Oh, what type of logic is this? Only knowledge shall help you to be yourself. Therefore, act. Now, what type of therefore? It means nothing. Why should I act? He doesn't understand. Listen carefully. That this question is coming up because you are not mentally prepared. Because Krishna never said that you must give up your action. You must know yourself, but he never said give up your action. Rather, he told how to act on in life. Because when you want to get this knowledge, Sankhya is knowledge, when the means of knowledge is used, Sabda Pramana, the means of knowledge is used, the 10th man is being told, you are the 10th man. The person still doesn't get it. Why? Other thoughts are in his head. You are the happiness. The person doesn't get it. Why? Distracted by other thoughts. Now what to do? Or, okay, you grasp it, but other thoughts come in, prevents you from being with yourself. Then, to counteract that thought, you have to act on. Yuddhaya ujjasva. Because you are a fighter already inside your head. So that tendency will be coming up. Now fight. The tendency is exhausted. Accept the result as it is. Your mind will be prepared. Therefore act. For what? Not for happiness with the result of the action, but preparing your mind. Do you understand this mechanism? That is why no action is looked down upon. No practice is looked down upon. Why? You have done that practice, no. So what business have I got to say that is useless? No, Swamiji, I have been holding my nose for the last 20 years. Continue to hold. But previously you are holding it for looking for happiness. Now, be happy to know you hold your nose. And if it is a compulsion, hold it and think what is going on. At that moment, I am with myself. Oh, I have been worshipping for a long time. Worship. That has been an obsession. Hang on to it. But consciously experience. I am so stuck on food. Consciously eat it. Can you use the same action to get out of the compulsion? The same action which created your compulsion, can you use the same action to get out of your compulsion? Previously you doing the action looking for happiness. Now your attitude has changed. Happiness is myself. I am doing this action for its own sake. Suddenly the action will have no hold over you. The thought, the practice, that whatever you say, it will have absolutely no hold over you. That is why you accept everybody. Your all-inclusive approach, tolerance, naturally comes to you. You don't dismiss anything. Why? Because that is his habit. However much you may be angry, why are you smoking? Hey, he did not come here to smoke. He was smoking. So he came here with this smoking habit. Don't say, unless you stop, you don't come here. Then you will never get a person. Hold the bidi in hand and talk. Listen. But be conscious. Previously you were thinking the smoking gives you happiness. Does it really give you happiness or TB? The smoking gives you happiness or cancer? Correct. Cancer, na. Happiness doesn't go. If it is happiness, then continuously smoke. We'll help you to give you another 100 pack. Will it give you happiness? Repeat it continuously, you will hate it. It will give you cancer or happiness? Oh, cancer da. But that's a habit. Okay, just see, thought is pushing you. Body has gone into that nicotine level. So all that needs your cleaning. Consciously you can get out of it. So as even smoking or anything, for that matter, your anger, hatred, jealousy, anything, because looking for happiness, I have picked up dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangha upajayate. I have picked up knowledge, contemplating on it, desire, fulfilled greed, unfulfilled anger. How many? Full of emotions inside. Therefore, act on to get out of it. Arjuna doesn't understand. He thinks he's asking him to act on to get the knowledge. No, act on to prepare your mind to get the knowledge. But in reality, for knowledge, you don't need to act on. For being yourself, you cannot do anything. Are you getting that point clear? Picture clear. Please see. So, Bhyamishrene eva vakyan, can't say, God, you are trying to confuse me, but this is confusing for me. He can't say, God, you are confused. No? Your teachers are not meant to confuse you. But then you can question it. In a very nicely you can say, instead of challenging, you are confusing me, tell him, I am confused, fix me. Don't say, no, I should not say I am confused. Did you understand? Oh yes. Why? Because you don't want to give him a feeling that he did not communicate. No, don't be stupid. You see these type of bleary-eyed, useless people around the so-called teaching and all that stuff. Why? Oh yes, I understand that. The next moment you are in trouble. What is this? If you don't understand, question it. Oh, if I question, I will disrespect my guru, You are stupid. That is why the teacher encourages, not discourages from questioning. Encourages, because it is your life. You must solve it once for all. There is no compromise. As I told you, if the teacher is right, he has answers for which you have no question. So don't worry about it. Question until you are resolved. No thought remains a problem. Therefore, O Lord, seems I am confused. Tadekam vadam nischitya. Nischitya, you think, now he is giving him nischitya, you think which one is right. Whether it is jnana or karma, whether it is knowledge or action. After deciding which one is correct, tell me, so that aham shreyam apnuyam, then I'll decide whether to do the karma or to do the jnana. Shall I fight or know myself? Now what shall you say? Both. You have to know yourself, jnana. To live your life, karma. You cannot escape both. It's so nice. Just read it out. I'll explain it. We'll see explanation. See, this is basic principle. Once you grasp it, then we can pass through. Are you getting that point clear? Please, if you don't understand, ask me a question. I hope you see it very clearly. Now Bhagavan says, all right. When he asked this question, now he says, I'll read. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Lokesmin dividha nishtha Pura prokta maya naga Jnana yogena sankhyanam Karma yogena yoginam Na karmana manarambhad Naiskarmyam purushosnute Nacha sanyasana deva Siddhim samadhigacchati Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Lokesmin dividha nishtha pura prokta maya nagha jnana yogena sankhyanam karma yogena yoginam na karmana manarambhad naishkarmyam purushosnute nacha sanyasana deva siddhim samadhigacchati. It's fantastic. We'll see tomorrow. Bhagavan says nicely, hey Arjuna, Lokesmin dividhanishta. You know, the amazing attitude is so beautiful, and nowhere Krishna has told this is better, that is better. No. Just like, do you have a better medicine? Huh? What is good for you is not good for somebody else. Depending on your system, you take one medicine. Another system, another type of medicine. Same disease. Suppose your body is allergic to one particular medicine, they won't give it to you. To another person, they will give the something which is they are not giving it to you. Because you are allergic to it, depends on your system. So the right type of doctor is cures the disease, but giving you this disease, giving you the medicine which does not create any side effect. Are you getting that? But different people, different medicine. Just like that. In this world, there are two ways. Dividha nishtha prokta. Two types of ways. What are they? Sankhya yogena, jnana yogena sankhyanam, karma yogena yoginam. There are Sankhya as a yogi, karma yogi, jnana yogi. Understand? There are two types of people. People who are already ready, jnana. People are not yet ready, karma. So what does it mean? Which one is better? Everybody starts with karma, then get into the jnana. Are you getting that point? So, because you are ahead in a place, that does not mean you are better. You started with where? That is why you are not proud unnecessarily. Oh, I can understand it clearly. At one time you were dumb. Don't forget it. Mullah went to the music master. And he said, can I learn music? He said, you? Ah, man, difficult for you. You can't sing. You are always with donkeys. Huh? You can't sing even for nuts. So I don't think you can. He said, no, I'm very interested in music. I want to learn. How long will it take? He said, 6 months. 6 months? 6 months to learn music? He said, yes. How much are you charging? He says, first month I have to work heavily on you because your voice has to be really cultivated. So that will be 100 sovereign. Just take an exam, 100. Second month, 75. Third month, 50. Fourth month, 40. Then last one, 20. With that, it's over. Are you interested? He said, yes, I'm interested, but you start from 6th month. No, why are you laughing? It's easy, no? So start from 6th month. Hey? So like that. Jnana yoga is very easy. Karma yoga, you have to do this, change your attitude, live your life. Therefore, give me jnana, na? It doesn't work. That is, you don't compare. Where do you stand? The person who is capable of getting this knowledge should not feel superior. The person who is incapable of comprehending should not feel inferior. That is, teaching is not to create complexes in people. Teaching here is to facilitate your understanding. But after going through the teaching, If you are complex ridden, I think I am an idiot, I don't think I can get the truth. The teacher, something wrong with him. Anybody, you understand? Anybody is wonderful. Why? Because you are absolute. You are the subject. So what is the question of lesser and more greater? Your mind is, some people's mind ready, some people's mind not ready. One who is ready was not ready. One who is not ready will be ready. So what is the problem? So who is better? The way is not told to compare. But then when people study this Vedanta and say, we are all Jnana Yogis, these people are all Karma Yogis, these people are Noj Yogis, these people are Bhogis, these people, what are you doing? These people are ritualists, that man is, sensualist. Hey, don't do that. Don't compartmentalize. Brand. Condemn people to certain action or attitude. No. If you know the truth, are you going to condemn them to an identity or take them to themselves? Right. So what is the question of, because if you brand yourself as a Jnana Yogi, you will be much more arrogant than anybody else. Are you getting that point, please? Everything is beautiful, everybody is capable. There is no untouchable in absolute wisdom. Why? Because you are the absolute. But you must be realistic. That's why the teacher gives you a clear picture so that you know where you stand. Are you already ready? Jnana Yoga, Sankhyana. Not yet ready? Karma Yoga. No hopeless case. Example is limited. You are going to Madras. If you are already in Chengalpet, should you start with Tiruvannamalai? If you are in Tiruvannamalai, can you start with Chengalpet? You are flying to London. If you are in Madras, you go from Madras. If you are in Dubai, go from Dubai. Not that come back to Madras and then fly. What nonsense. It's not that the consciousness, how far you are from consciousness, don't take, that is the example is silly. I'm giving an example to convey one idea. How far are you away from the Absolute? Already standing. What should you do? True knowledge that. How far are you from the Absolute? I know I am the Absolute, but this, anger, hatred, jealousy really bothering me. All right, prepare yourself. No helpless place. You understand? That is why you don't get angry with your anger. Yet there is no emotion which cannot be dealt with. Are you getting that? Oh, I am so stuck on this food or anything. Don't worry. Infinity is more powerful than any finite habits. Oh. You understand? The hope for the mankind. Infinity is more powerful than any finite habits. Whatever it may be. Most interesting is, are you willing? That's a big question. The big question is, are you willing? I want to hold on my cigar also. That is why when you ask people to change their lifestyle, that is the time they don't want to come to Vedanta. If you say, hold your beer, and they say, I am the happiness, nothing like it. I can have everything, then I shall say I am happiness. The fellow wants it. Why? He wants his freedom. Freedom, is it freedom? Holding on to something, being happy? Somebody shall destroy you with that process. Which if he gives you that sanction, you can have this beer in hand and say, I am the God. Or I am smoking and I can say, or I do anything and I am God. You can't live without it. You are a slave of a habit where you are misusing the wisdom. First find your freedom. Free. Yes, then you choose. Do, not to do, your choice. But at no time you can give a sanction to perversion. That is a question. Are you willing? Yes. Okay. Mumukshu will get it. We'll see more of it tomorrow. Okay? It's very beautiful, very beautiful. Abba. Close your eyes, please. See that things very clearly, friends, okay? Because unconsciously don't have a sense of superiority over others, nor inferior. Oh, I am ordinary people. No, you are absolute. Or else, this information, this knowledge, this scholarship can bring tremendous arrogance. You have to watch out. Can you be a happy man with everybody comfortable? As much comfort with an idiot, that much comfort with a smart person. Because they are that. Idiot, smart was idiot. Idiot will be smart. Wise was ignorant. Ignorant will be wise. So don't dismiss anything. You see how the whole thing is building up? In the first classes when you were listening, what is that? Uncompromising. Every nonsense. That one, stupid. This is useless. 10th man knows himself, only knowledge. Uncompromising. Okay. If somebody gets it, fine. Cannot, all right, come on. Then, that is why, khandana, mandana. Khandana means chap. Khandana. Everything nonsense. Mandana is, okay, all right. What is it? You're an idiot, stupid even. All right, come on, don't worry, start. Okay, we see tomorrow.